can I please ask you to welcome to the stage Gus Zogolovitch, who's going to tell us about Solidspace.
Thank you. Difficult name to pronounce, but bloody good on the scrabble board. Good afternoon, I'm Gus Zogolovitch. I'm MD of Solidspace. I'm here to present our idea for RESI's next big thing. Most of you will own a Dell, a Vio, or even an Apple laptop. They're all different on the outside, they're one thing in common. They're all powered by an Intel chip. We're doing for housing what Intel did for computers. I'm here to present Solidspace Inside. People live differently today than they did in Victorian times. Yet modern houses continue to use a similar floor plan as they did when parlours, sculleries and outside toilets were commonplace. We think this outmoded design has had its day. So what is the Solidspace design and why do we need it? Our family, our social and our work lives are now intertwined. We need to be connected, but we also need our moments of privacy. Our answer to this is to fuse the open plan with the split level. This has the positive byproduct of making our Solidspace homes feel bigger and lighter than our Victorian ancestors, but on the same footprint. It's not been easy. We spent the last 10 years refining our design to get it just right, trying out numerous real sites, and we've had to get trademarks, design, registration, and copyrights. We've now built 8 units and have another 20 or so in the pipeline. And what we found is that the beauty and the flexibility of Solidspace Inside is that the design can be built in any planning context, in any building facade. Because it focuses on the internal space and not the external design, it's not constrained by planners. So often a problem in development, as we heard this morning. So who's our target market? We like to call them the grand design's armchair devotees. These are people who have money and aspiration to live in grand design styles homes, but don't want the hassle of driving their own JCB. They break down into 2 types of demographics. People like me, 30 to 40 somethings, with young professionals with a family, and also people like our board of directors, 55 plus baby boomers, who are looking for downsizing. Why do they like this product? Or should I say, why do I like our product? Since I took the view that just like the guy in the advert that liked to shaver so much that he bought the company, I needed to live in one of our own designs to find out what works and what doesn't. Well, I wouldn't be standing here now if the design hadn't exceeded all my expectations. And judging by the press interest and the level of interest from the general public, I'm not alone. So, if our design is so good, why aren't we just getting on with it? Well, because although we've got a growing list of potential customers who'd love to own their own Solidspace home, we don't actually have enough resources to satisfy them. So I'm here to offer you the chance to put Solidspace Inside into your projects and make those potential customers happy. Why might this be suitable? First of all, let's think about our talk about neo-bankside this morning. We heard Craig McWilliam tell us buyers make their decisions from the inside out, well, we provide that interior. And Adam Shaw advised, see yourself as others do. Do your customers really think that you're different? Our product gives you that diversification. Our design isn't an architect's fantasy, it's commercial reality. It gets a 30 to 50% sales premium. It costs the same as a normal house to build. It's flexible for any site. It's not constrained by planners. It feels the customer need. And Solidspace has a growing brand awareness which has been validated through the press. But naturally, you will all be sceptical of our claims. So don't just take our word for it. Come to Solidspace. Solidspace Essex Mews, where we invite you all to a sleepover. Come and stay the night, but don't come at the same time. Thank you.
Okay, who wants to kick off the questioning of Gus? Nick.
Gus, you said that you've been doing this for 10 years.
We've been looking at the designs, we've been evolving the design for 10 years.
Okay, and in 10 years you built 8 units.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of time to make some money out of this business.
Well, what we've done is obviously we started, as you know, the development process is a long time, and we're quite a small company.
I was
so
one of the fastest developers in the world, but that in main sense is pretty good.
So, well, the idea is that we've been looking at the design for 10 years, but we haven't actually necessarily been building every year, as you can imagine. As you see before you, I think I've been passing out the catalogue. If you look at the catalogue, actually you can see that we've been working on lots and lots of different sites. Only recently, what we've done is we stopped working for ourselves and started offering this as a service to investors and to outside people, which is why you haven't seen so many of us.
Since you've been presenting to investors and outside people, has anyone invested so far?
Yeah, so we've got two investors, one where we've got the site and we're hoping to get planning permission soon, and that's for 8 units in Hoxton, and then another one who's committed some funds, we're just looking for a site for them. But really, for me, this is about scalability, because I think there's a brand awareness here that goes far beyond the 8 units. I mean, given the amount of kind of press we've had, and given the amount of people, there are queues of people that queue in to kind of go into our houses, and the amount of awards we get, it's kind of amazing that just on 8 units we've had that impact. So I think if we can get the scale, then we really have something that's kind of disruptive.
Looks like a lot of your conceptual ideas revolve around volume and height. So how do you square away the loss of square footage when you're dealing with that?
Well, you actually, interestingly, you get, because when people go around and we ask, because I obviously live in my own and we get lots of people around, I ask pretty much every single person that comes around, tell me how big you think this house is. And I ask professionals, and I ask members of the public, and even professionals overestimate that space by 50%. So it's actually not really relevant about the square footage, it's about how you use the space. And because we get rid of all the dead corridors, I think Tom was talking about it earlier in Park Hill, actually because you get a much better sense of the space. You can have 3,000 square foot, but if actually you're only really using 200 square foot, it's going to feel like a small house.
I think it's absolutely great. I know we've certainly been doing a lot of that, and doing it. I'm a little bit surprised when I wasn't sure whether you were a developer or a service operator.
Well, we started off as a developer, and I've come to the conclusion that we can't carry on. I mean, we've got another 20 in the pipeline, but if we really want to make this a viable story, we need to hook up with people that have more resources than us. It's simple as that.
Rather than ask a question, I suppose I've done a lot of this. I think the challenge is going to be if you're refurbing, which I think you're doing some new building.
It's pretty much all new building.
Yeah, you can get the new work, refurb is very tough.
Yeah.
But then you're not actually taking you're actually bringing a new design forward. So, one question. And the second question I've got is, what are the insertion property you've got here? What are the
Sorry?
What are the basics?
So, well, we don't have patents because obviously it's a design, but we've got copyrights, we've got design registrations, and we've got brand name trademarks. And so we're building up to, and then we're looking at registering a three-dimensional logo.
Well, up against your time, wise Harry, is there anything you want
Yeah,
to
I think I've got 10 seconds. I was just going to ask one question.
Because it feels solid because of the quality, but yet gives you more space.
Nice short answer. Gus Zogolovitch, Solidspace.